Faith. That's something that I've never had in my life for any real length of time. Faith to me has been something that I couldn't hold on to for very long because of some circumstances beyond my control. Back at the age of 6, I was a regular churchgoer. I enjoyed going to Sunday school and spending time with other kids and doing Bible studies, and did different crafts that were all related to the Bible, and I enjoyed that very much. Towards the end of the service, when there was a few minutes left, we would go upstairs and join our parents, and we would finish the worship service, and that was always something I really enjoyed and I got a lot out of. Now, over time, the town that I grew up in, the population dropped, and it dropped so much that they couldn't keep the church open, so they closed the church. So that was the end of my church going at that time. Didn't have any other churches near us, so I kind of was left without any guidance. Then the following summer, we went to a vacation spot, and they had a Bible camp. So I attended the Bible camp, and we were there about 2 weeks roughly. We'd go for a couple hours every day. And again, I was really enjoying going. We did crafts, we did things just like it was in Sunday school, and I made a few friends, and I was really quite happy with doing this. We did this for 3 summers before I was once again let down. The Bible camps stopped running, they shut them down, and that was it. After that, moving forward, I slowly started drifting more and more away from faith. And as I got into my teen years, I started to become not a very nice person. At that time, living my life, I was quite content to live it in the pleasures of the flesh. I drank, I did drugs, I started to gamble, and I really wasn't happy with this, but I was existing, and that was good enough. Over time, I started to feel like something was missing, that the happiness that I wanted wasn't there. So I started looking into other denominations and other religions, and as I studied them, I saw things about them that I really enjoyed, but there was always things that weren't quite what I was looking for. So I kind of gave up on the whole idea altogether. During the time of searching, I started to say the Lord's Prayer an awful lot. And every time I'd say it, I felt this warmth in my chest. And it always struck me kind of weird because I didn't even know why I started doing the Lord's Prayer, but I was doing it and I couldn't help but notice the feeling I got. One night when I went to bed, I had a dream. And in that dream, I heard God say to me, I want you to go out and preach the gospel. I want you to bring people back to me. And now I'm in my late 40s and I'm aware of the world situation. You could see that we are lining up to the end times, to the Revelation. And I thought, yeah, this really is something that we need to do. So the next morning I woke up and I had full faith and I had this purpose and this happiness that wasn't there the night before. So that day I contacted CLI and did a little bit of reading and studying with what they offered and decided I'd like to try it. So lo and behold, I passed my first 4 courses, got my diplomas right away, and I was quite shocked because in grade school and high school, my marks were terrible. I didn't have any interest in reading or writing, and here I am all of a sudden now doing some studying, and things are actually staying in my head, and I'm doing well with my marks, and I was very happy. Shocked, but happy. So as I was doing my courses, it was recommended that you reach out to a local mentor to help you on your journey. And that then got me connected to a church that formerly I had gone to. And before long, I was taking lessons with my priest, and she was giving me classes and little projects to work on. And again, I was doing well, and I was very interested. Over time, she recommended that I go to ordination through the denomination and work towards becoming an ordained priest. So again, I started doing more classes and more studying, and my marks were really good. Here I am learning about theology, and I'm learning so many different aspects of the Bible and God, and again, I was amazed that things like this were happening and it was actually working for me. So over time, I was studying, and 2 years had passed, and Pastor Irwin, a friend of mine for 2 years, he reached out to me and he said that he'd like me to join his ministry. And I said, well, Pastor, I really can't because I'm kind of committed right now, but thank you for the offer. And Pastor Irwin, he kept pursuing me and he kept asking me, and I almost feel like he had a sense that something wasn't working for me. So as I thought about everything, I realized that as a student, I was kind of limited to what I could do. I got to preach in church a few times, but it was never enough to feel like I was answering the call that God put upon me. I would do a sermon once every couple of months, and I enjoyed the process of writing it and preaching it. I was so happy doing that, but it just wasn't enough. I felt like I wasn't fulfilling my calling that God had put upon me. So I finally decided, with the frustrations, that I just wanted to preach. I reached out to Irwin and I said, Pastor, I'm ready. So we talked about it, and I've now since joined the Patotoo ministry. I was recently appointed a pastor of the ministry. I'm thrilled beyond belief to be part of the ministry. What I'm going to bring to the ministry is going to be my desire to serve with love. I want to teach with love. I want to serve God in the direction that He's given me. I know that I have received a calling because I know I am not the same person I was. Because bearing in mind that I've only been in faith now for 3 years, I'm completely changed. I'm not that same person that I used to be. The meanness that I had, the racism that I carried, and the selfishness and self-centeredness has left me. I'm now finding that I am very willing to listen to people. I love people, and in the last 2 years, I've had a lot of friends come to me when somebody passes in their family, and God always gives me the right words to say to comfort them and bring them back to some kind of understanding, if not anything else, about the process. So faith now to me is strong again, and this time I know it's not going to leave me like it did before. I'm committed to God's calling. I'm committed to the ministry that I'm now a part of, and I couldn't be happier. I thank you for listening to me. I thank you for Pastor Irwin and the Patotoo ministry. I'm so blessed to have them in my lives and me be part of their lives. I am so blessed and so thankful. And again, faith. I have it now. I wished I could have had it my whole life. But I've got it, and that's all that matters. Thank you.
I see those tears that flow from the faces of the people living in distress and despair. I've been searching for an answer that could quench my thirst like the living water. How to